Christmas is fun.
Christmas.
Christmas is magical.
Christmas.
Christmas is long lines and travel delays.
Christmas.
And unexpected guests for dinner.
Christmas.
Christmas should run
Christmas.
smooth and be
Christmas.
organized. I'm James Lott Jr., the Super Organizer, and this is the Super Organizer Christmas Show on the Christmas 24/7 channel.
It's Christmas, you guys. It's Christmas! It is the most wonderful time of the year. And it's the Super Organizer Christmas Show. I'm James Lott Jr., Super Organizer, and I'm here. I love this time of year. And this time of year brings up movies, books, all kinds of goodies. And this person wrote some books that was turned into movies. It's crazy talk, but I'm happy to have her on the show, of course. I've talked to her before several times, and I just love her to pieces. And I'm so glad she's able to join us today on the show. And we're going to talk to her first, and then we're going to give you some organizing tips a little later, and I'm going to leave you something. So there's 3 things happening on the show today, and I'm very excited. She is the best-selling author of over 9,000 books. Or is it 90? Something like that. She's a prolific writer. And her Father Christmas novel series, trilogy, has become movies on Hallmark Channel, very popular movies. As we're going to talk to her about that and how she does with the books. And I actually have a question I've never asked her before. And I'm going to ask her. I've interviewed her several times. I'm going to ask you this question I never asked before. I'm very excited. My friend Skyping in from Hawaii, Miss Robin Jones Gunn. Hi, Robin.
Aloha.
How are you?
And of course, it's Christmas show, but it's from Hawaii. It's Christmas here too. It's just maybe a little warmer.
Well, you know, this channel is all about it's Christmas 24/7 channel here, and that's what this is what we do. We celebrate Christmas all year, and especially this time of year. I'm glad to have you on the show. Thank you for coming in. Now, I have a question to ask you, Robin, that I've realized I've never asked you this. I've used you like several times now over the years. And here's the question. Let's get up there. What are some of the key elements, in your opinion, do you need when you're writing a Christmas story or story during Christmas time?
That is a very good question.
I've never asked you before. I'm very curious.
Yep. I found that with the 3 Christmas novellas I wrote, each of them worked best when I kept going back to that closeness with family and friends. Because Christmas is that time of year when we get to see people we don't usually see the rest of the year. And so if the story has those elements of showing how people connect, or especially if there's some reconciliation in relationships, or there's a chance to be together after a long time, it just, the readers connect in such a special way, and it's really heartwarming. So I think that's it. It's the family and friends, and also maybe the sacredness that is there at Christmas.
Okay.
We are really taking the time to stop and remember the meaning of Christmas, and to gather together as a family, and to have that chance to be in the tradition. And, we were talking earlier about going to church and hearing Christmas carols, and that brings us all together in a really tender way, and that's important.
Well, family is a universal theme during the holidays. Doesn't matter where you come from or what culture or anything. It's just family's the center of it all. So it's kind of funny you said it. Makes sense you say that, and sacredness too, depending on what religion or what is going on. It's all about that too, isn't it? When it comes to Christmas,
it's a holiday, a holy day, right? So
a holy day, yes.
we're celebrating something that has deeper meaning, and so that comes out, and we're connected to it. Then we really have that sense that we celebrated well, rather than just mark it off the calendar.
So these movies, very popular on Hallmark Channel, and as Hallmark does, they do it so well. When you were writing the books, and it's probably crazy, but just for people out there, did you ever envision them going beyond book form after you wrote them?
No, I never did. This is a good question, because the first time I even thought about it, I was at a conference with Debbie Maycomber, who has a number of...
Oh my God, yes. You're talking about prolific writer, yes.
Yeah. And Debbie and I and another writer friend went out to dinner, and she started talking about the Mrs. Miracle Christmas shows. I think there was another one that was coming up. And so I just asked her, how did you do that? And she said, I had nothing to do with it. agent,
Yes.
me with the producers and everything. So I just remember sitting at P.F. Chang's restaurant as we're opening our little fortune cookies, and I thought, what would it be like if one of my Christmas novellas became a Hallmark movie?
Eh.
How do you make that?
And it happened.
Debbie says you can't do anything about it, but it's
Right.
Yeah, it feels really like an honor to be part of the Hallmark family.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I'm so grateful. So
they're great. We know the people around me. They're great people. They're really behind the scenes, really great people. So you're in good hands. Like your movies were in good hands. Thank God. Now, when you saw the first movie, because they did do a few changes, which they want to do. How was that? How did that feel when you saw that? They changed location, especially.
Yeah, because the books are set in England and the movie is in Vermont.
Yeah.
I knew ahead of time, so I was ready. And I had the feeling that what they were able to do and the screenwriter captured was so much the core and the heart of the story that made me really happy. I felt like they captured the essence of the story and then they cast it so well.
Yes. Aaron's so good. Aaron is so good in this movie.
And Niall
as Miranda.
And
yes.
Also
and Wendy.
Malik. Come on.
Yes. Hello. I mean, great cast. I mean, they had such chemistry, great cast. They can do comedy, drama. I mean, everything. And as you know, I read the book. So, I mean, so when I saw the first one, I was like, oh, this actually, Vermont does work.
Yeah.
I mean, it does work. I've never been to Vermont, but I mean, from what I'm seeing, like, it seemed like, okay, it didn't really take away from the story very much. It's just different state, different country, but it was not bad at all.
Oh, it's the magic of movies, right? Because we know it's filmed in Vancouver, BC, but it's supposed to be Vermont.
Right.
We just watch it and enjoy it and believe it. So.
Yes. Yes. Just like Christmas, you have to have believe. Just believe. Yeah, I love it. And when you met, so the books, I mean, it really is, there is a story in there. I mean, it's a deep story about someone searching for her dad. I mean, there's a whole through line in there of like a kind of a serious story in there, but it's still kind of light and Christmassy. Do you feel the movies really captured all of that?
I know that they did, and I have to tell you a story why. I went to get a pedicure about 3 weeks ago, and I was standing there. Okay, no, really, this will make sense. And I'm picking out the color, and I picked up a bright red, and I thought, oh, this Christmas red, I want this color. And this is in my little town in Hawaii. It's not a very big town, but a woman came up and said, "Are you Robin Jones Gunn?" I said, "Yes."
Wow.
And she said, "I recognized you because I read your books and you wrote the Father Christmas books and I wrote the movie." And I said, "Wow, I'm so honored. That's amazing."
Yeah, she recognized you in a small area. See, you never know.
And she was kind of shaking and she said, "My mom is here visiting me. Could you come meet her? She's over in the chair, get your feet soaked, the massage on her back." And so I went over and I shook her mom's hand, and she's a woman in her probably early 70s. And the daughter said, "Mom, this is the woman who wrote those books, and I told you to watch the Father Christmas movies, and you did." And her mom just started sobbing, just like staring at me and just sobbing. And I'm holding her hand, and people are looking, and the daughter said, "Tell her why that means so much to you." And her mom, in her 70s, said, "When I watched the first movie and I saw that this young woman was searching for her birth father, it was my story because I was adopted and I don't know who my birth parents are, and I never even tried to search." So when Margaret character, who's Wendy Malik, when Margaret said the line, "If he had known about you, he would have moved heaven and earth to find you." And she said, it just got to me, and I thought, I'd never even tried. So she told me, she couldn't even talk. It was her daughter who told me.
Yeah.
My mom went to the adoption agency. They opened up her file. Her parents are passed. but she discovered she had a half brother she never knew
Oh my
about,
goodness.
and she contacted him, and she spent Christmas with him last year.
What? Oh my goodness. See, the power of
Yeah,
creativity, the power of art. I mean,
that sacredness of family we need to be.
yeah,
Isn't that amazing? Then I
that
was
is amazing,
crying,
actually.
her daughter's crying, people listening.
Right.
To
I'm almost gonna start crying now myself by hearing that story. Like, hello. I mean, because it's just, you never know who's watching, and that people like us who are creatives, you never know. I mean, you could be in a small town in Hawaii. You could be in a big city. I mean, you never know who's watching you
yeah.
and how your work affects someone in their lives. You just don't know that.
Yeah, and we really hope that it has deeper meaning and has a longer effect, but we don't usually hear. So that was a gift to be able to hear that. And then I walked over to my chair with my little red, nail polish going.
Yeah. Your Christmas red nail polish.
I know. Wow.
See? We're all connected. I know. I believe that completely. We're all connected. Everything's connected. It's all connected. What you do affects me. What I do it affects everybody. And I love that. I do. Now, are there any other books coming out in this series? Can I ask that?
Of course you can ask. I have ideas always, but I don't have any in the works. But you never know.
Ooh, okay, because I mean it's fun because we saw the progression of how everybody came together in the 3 movies and the 3 books. Like, I want more. I'm just saying that I want more.
Oh, I know.
And the creativity comes to you.
Yeah, the really fun thing is that I've kept in contact with the main actors since the movies.
Oh, good.
I was on set for all 3.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
Just last month, Erin and I were back and forth in an email, and she was asking, so any more movies? Other stuff being considered, but no green lights, but
yes,
But Erin, I want you to be in whatever next one comes. So I don't know.
Well, Erin's my friend too. So Erin, if you're watching this, she's thinking about it. She's thinking about it. Somebody actually want me to ask you, a fan want me to ask you, how involved or not involved are you during the writing process of the movie? Because there's a screenwriter who's hired to do, or screenwriters are hired. Any consultancy? Like, how were you involved at all? You see the script afterwards? How'd that work?
The first one, I was invited to go on set for 3 days, which is rare.
Okay.
And when I was on set was the first time I saw just a few pages of the script. So the first one, I knew nothing. The second one, I saw the script ahead of time, and I had a couple suggestions.
Okay.
And the producers had a look and sent it on to the screenwriter. And one of them that he incorporated that I love in Engaging Father Christmas, it was my daughter's idea. She said, why don't you have Ian's parents, when they take off on the carriage?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Parents, like, plug in the electric light.
Oh, yeah. I remember,
That was her suggestion, and they took that.
They took it. Very nice.
And then on the third one, I had a chance to see the script ahead of time, and I made a few suggestions, and again, a few, maybe
minor kind of.
Yeah, maybe I made 8 suggestions, and 2 of them were adjusted and incorporated.
Okay.
But that's unusual, and I think it's.
I know.
We just have such a great. It was a great team, the production company, the writer, everybody. So I felt really honored to be invited in, because I know that wasn't normal.
Yeah, no, folks, that's why what you talk about, like, folks out there, normally this does not happen. They usually don't call, the option sold, whatever, they write it, they put it out there, invite you to premiere. And that's it. You know what I mean? They don't have you come in on set and talk to actors. They don't do all that. So that's not common at all. So, Robin, but it talks a testament to them, to Hallmark and Crown Media and all them, how they run things. They're like a family.
Absolutely. And I think, for someone who is in the position I was in, to go the first year and just be very quiet in the corner, then the invitation came the next year, I think they felt that I was safe.
Yeah, so exactly. She wasn't too loud or anything, trying to tell us what to do. This is not going to do, everybody. Stop production. This is not going to do. No, you didn't do all that. Yeah. I love that. So, okay, lastly, Robin, I could talk to you forever. You know that. But lastly, I want to ask you, what advice do you have just to writers in general out there who are starting to write stories? And I mean, just what kind of advice would you give them?
You have to keep going. You have to find that confidence and strength, because it will not come from outside sources. And you have to be convinced that what you're doing is something that is in you that has to be done. And then you get all the training and the feedback and the sort of input into the project. But the most important thing is that you don't stop if you're really convinced. I mean, it's so difficult.
Mm-hmm, I do. It is.
Very isolating and solitary in the whole process. But I have talked to so many writers who start well and they get stuck and then they don't finish. And I'm really sad, because what they were working on was so great. And if they their way to the finish line, we would have had a piece of art. But they worked way too hard. And nobody knows that. I think most people think what creatives do is kind of whimsical and kind of for fun and a little hobby. They don't realize how much work.
It's work. It's work, girl. I know it's work, and I work. So I mean, you work too. And I'm actually writing my first Christmas mystery.
Ooh.
So when it's called A Winter's Night, and when it's done, I'm going to send you a copy because I want you to have it. So I'm having a good time.
Don't stop. Don't stop.
I'm not going to. I'm gonna hear your voice in my head now. Just keep going. Don't stop. But it's been a lot of fun. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop at all. It's going to be fun. Thank you, Miss Robin, for being on the show.
Well, thank you.
You're the best.
I just really enjoy having these chances to chat with you, and I hope we have lots more.
We will. You're not done with me, girl. Not at all. You're not done with me at all. Actually, tell the folks out there where they can find you on social media and stuff.
Yes. Please come to robingunn.com, ROBINGUNN.com, and it will have all the social media, click-throughs, and the online shop where you can find the books. And Robin Gunn.
Perfect. Thank you, Miss Robin. I'll talk to you next time. Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Robin Jones. God, I love her to death. She is so good. And so, folks, as I always do on the show, I give you some organizing tips, and it's related to what we're going to talk about. And here's something that I want you guys to try, because I am the super organizer, and I do this myself. Whenever I tell you guys a tip, I also practice what I preach. And this one is interesting because Hallmark movies are coming out, and also have movies on Lifetime, movies everywhere. Christmas movies are coming out. Here's something you can do, because these Christmas movies, you can watch them, and you don't have to watch them intently or anything, but you can watch them and sit in front of your TV, grab a drink or something. Well, nothing too strong, of course, because you want to have your wits about you. But I say you can organize while you're watching the movies. A lot of these movies are 90 minutes long. Some are 60, 65, 70 minutes long. That's a good time to start. So grab a junk drawer or a drawer in your bedroom or a stack of paper or even get your laundry and sit in front of the TV and work on it while you're watching the movie. Time yourself. You time yourself to the movie. Say the movie's 90 minutes. Then just sit down and pick something you can do within 90 minutes. How's that? And then just kind of do that. And it helps it helps things move, the task move easier and just more fun than just sitting there folding laundry, because folding laundry is not fun. But if you're watching TV or listening to music or whatever, you can just fold while you're doing it. And then next thing you know, you're done with that task. Junk drawers, I always say those because, this is one of my things. You can have one junk drawer in your house. But here's a stipulation. You have to go through it every 3 months. So you have a junk drawer. You can throw stuff, just a little catch-all stuff, throw stuff in there. But every 3 months, go in that junk drawer and organize it out. What I find most of the time, a lot of times it's trash in the junk drawer. Little papers, little receipts, sugar packets, all kinds of stuff in there you really don't need. But there are some things, I feel like a junk drawer can be useful sometimes for those miscellaneous things that you need to grab, but there's not enough of them. It may be a couple of nails or maybe one pair of scissors or something. We don't want to put it anywhere else. You just leave it in that drawer, easily accessible. You can grab it, some twist ties, whatever it is, you can grab it. It could be one menu from a restaurant you order from all the time. Junk drawers are fine, but when they get too junky, it's time to super organize them. So that's my tip is get a Hallmark movie, get some eggnog with just a little bit of brandy, and then sit down and organize a junk drawer. How's that? Organize a sock drawer. Fold your socks, something like that. And the next thing you know, it'll be done. So that's my tip for that. And then, of course, before we end the show, I always like to leave you with something to think about. And I'm going to leave you with this. Just talking to Robin, she was a great example of when you're creating something, whether it's you're a painter or an author or a musician or an actor or a host, or it's a person who has a garden, anything, when you create something, you never know who's watching. You never know who it might affect positively and change their lives. You never know when you start something, the journey it will take you. I am complete full proof of that from the last 10 years of my life. I started out one way and here I am today here. And you just never know what's going to happen when you stay open to the universe and kind of just let it kind of go. And to me, that's kind of a Christmas thing too. Christmas is about being open and inviting things in and believing in yourself and believing in others. And you just never know what's going to happen. And that's one of the great things about life that I try to stay optimistic about and walk through when I create things, because you just never know. And that's what I'm going to leave you with. This is the Super Organizer Christmas Show. You can follow, please, everyone, go to YouTube, go to the Christmas 24/7 channel and subscribe. We have other content on there. These shows are on there. It's Christmas time, folks, and we're Christmas all year round, 24/7. So go there and subscribe, comment, rate. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Tell me what's going on. Give me a Merry Christmas. But go there and subscribe to that channel and let us know what you think. And follow us in our programming on here. I'm James Lott Jr. You can follow me where all James Lott Jr. is sold on social media platforms. James Lott Jr. everywhere. That's right. And that's James with Lott Jr. I will see you next time, and Merry Christmas.
From Chairman Elves Kevin Undergaro and Maria Menounos, we would like to thank you for tuning in. Until next time, do your best to make every day Christmas. Ho, 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 ho.
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas!